It feels good to say that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is here, and I finally get to live out my Viking dream of pillaging and being a cool dude with a beard that screams, "I'm 40 years old, but still attend local music venues trying to pick up 16-year-old girls." Wait, what is this? I load in and I'm playing as a child, not a badass Viking? For legal reasons, let me just clear up I said playing as a child, not playing with a child. Everyone's drinking heaps of alcohol and forcing me to show off how uncoordinated I am by making me participate in family dance time. It seems irresponsible that you let a child be in this environment. I mean, even my boy Sigurd is offering me some of his beverage. It's a total shock. I always thought Vikings had a great moral compass. You know, with all the pillaging and raping they did, offering a child alcohol is totally out of character for them. Someone decides to spice things up though and raid our village, killing my father and my mother. So yeah, guess we've got our traditional Assassin's Creed revenge arc now. Me and Sigurd escape on horseback, which is kind of like Brokeback Mountain, but without the sexual tension. So nothing like Brokeback Mountain really. So, we are then dropped back in quite a few years later as an older male Eivor. Obviously I picked the male Eivor because I'm sexist. Nah, I'm kidding. I promote equality on this channel, which is why I'm asking all men watching this, please tier 3 sub to all female streamers on Twitch to really show how much we appreciate their amazing personalities. So I've got to find the rest of my crew, but first things first, this is an Assassin's Creed game. I've got to climb to the highest point and synchronize to really feel fulfilled. Ah, there it is. Does anyone else climax every time they synchronize, or is it just me? Anyway, usually after a synchronization, we're treated to the protagonist doing a leap of faith into a thin stack of hay without breaking a single bone. But this time round, Eivor just leaps off with form that would give Tom Daly PTSD if he witnessed it. A bit further up, I find a guy doing some cooking and attempt to stealth attack him, but just end up brutally ripping him apart with my axe. Sorry mate, I thought this would be a quick and painless assassination, but now he's going to have a closed casket funeral. I guess closed caskets are less awkward for the necrophiliacs in the room, as they won't get a semi when paying their respects, but all in all, it's not too great for the family. I managed to find my boy Dag, who seems like he has some unresolved issues going on deep down, and we decide he'll get the boat ready while I storm a small village to save the entirety of my crew. Really feel like I'm pulling most of the weight here for our clan, but that's something I'll bring up with the king at a later date, as this probably isn't the right time to ruffle feathers. The rest of the lads and ladies are in this longhouse, but to free them I first have to slay this chunky boy, who also happens to be guarding my father's axe. He does pose quite a threat to us, especially as I'm literally just wearing pajamas, but I managed to take him down with the clap. No, I didn't give him chlamydia, I literally clapped his head between two hammers. Jeez, you guys really think I'm sick enough to have intercourse with him and give him an STD? I always get tested first. Don't worry, I gave him no such diseases. I've claimed back my father's axe from the people who took it all those years ago, so I've got to use it appropriately by dismembering these young men and women who were most likely born into this life and didn't really have a choice to fight or not. With everyone dead, we board our boat and head home, but before we get home, we see a small island for the taking. So we pull up, ask them for a trade deal, and have consensual sex with their wives. Because that's what Vikings did, right? There's no place like home. A relaxing environment where you get to terrorize children with your father's axe. I need to speak to the king, but he's in a meeting right now, so I've got some time to kill. I decide that I should go to see the village therapist because taking care of your mental health is extremely important. Even Vikings knew that. I'm sure there was a road I could have taken, but with 250 hours logged on Skyrim, I see these mountains as nothing but a challenge. I arrive in my therapist's back garden with 2 freshly broken ankles and nip in through the front door. Luckily, she's doing nothing serious, just praying to the gods, so we have a little meeting. And well, let's just say that counselling sessions back in the day involved a lot less talking about your emotions and a lot more drinking random concoctions that the therapist has whipped up for you. Well, actually, I did have one therapist who did that for me, but he got fired 2 weeks later. It's so weird, I never found out the reason why. This concoction turns out to be hallucinogenic drugs, and I'm not complaining. Just make sure you're careful when doing hallucinogens though, as some take them like a champion to elevate themselves to a higher frequency, while others just sit in the corner peeling themselves like a satsuma. Eivor though seemingly takes them pretty well, as he sees a giant wolf in his visions and Sigurd who only has one arm. So yeah, I'm sure that's totally not foreshadowing anything at all. So I wake up on the floor of my therapist's basement, and let me tell you, this isn't the first time that's happened. I haven't got much time for a cup of tea though, as I need to return to talk to the king, and I'm sure he'd be pretty pissed if we got raided and I was off doing sheets of acid in some random person's basement. On my way back home, I find someone just sleeping on the job. So naturally, my first course of action is to dip my balls in his mouth with a good old-fashioned teabag. Being raised in the era of Halo and Call of Duty, it's just in my DNA to teabag anyone that's sleeping. Although, do be advised, it will get you fired from your child daycare job if you decide to do it there. Apparently, the police don't agree that it's a timeless prank. He begins sleepwalking and heading straight for the edge of the cliff. So speaking of great pranks, I'm not going to wake him up, as it would be hilarious to watch him just faceplant 100 feet down. Unfortunately, he takes the zipline and wakes up, so my prank channel's gonna have to wait for some more great content. No wonder 99% of prank channels fake it. It's so hard to get legitimate footage of someone going through a traumatic event without incriminating yourself. Me and the king barely even get to talking when news arrived that our boy Sigurd has returned home.
Eivor! Sigurd! Ah, look at you, blood-soaked drinker! What have you been worrying without me?
Oh, and you, salt-cured Vikinger. I smell the stink of a dozen kingdoms in your beard.
It's just the start.
That's quite a talent that Eivor has. I wonder if he whiffed his pubes, he'd be able to smell how many women he had totally consensual intercourse with. Sigurd has brought his two new friends with him, Basim and Haytham. I have a great attention to detail, so you know, I pick up on the fact that they're assassins before 96% of other players. I know, I'm a genius. Due to Sigurd's return, the bevies are flying tonight, and I'm actually of age to be drinking this time around. Once Sigurd had finished blowing his own load about the adventures he had from around the world, he tells me that him and the assassins have a little present for me. So I open it up, and it's a hidden blade, which Eivor proceeds to put on the wrong way round. This slightly triggered me, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it just doesn't look right. But I guess GG Ubisoft, their intention here was to make the player feel more uncomfortable than Prince Andrew at an under-14s netball game. And they accomplished that. The boys take me outside to show me how the hidden blade works, and while practicing my assassinations, I had a realization that this really felt like an Assassin's Creed game. It reminded me of Edward learning how the hidden blade worked for himself, and it made me feel something for the first time in a long time. Kjotve, the man who killed Eivor's mother and father, has sent some spies to check out our village, so I take it upon myself to deal with them with my hidden blade. A Viking using stealth is like Sniper Wolf making good content. It just doesn't happen. That was a joke for my boys who have been around for a while. Me and Sigurd decide that there is no more time to waste. I mean, it only took us wasting 17 years to realise there's no more time to waste. And that we must avenge Eivor's mother and father, kill Kjotve now and take out the rest of his clan. It turns out that the assassins also want him dead, as he's a Templar. Well, they didn't actually say that, but once again, I decipher this using my intellect and some things they may have suggested. I honestly thought this was going to be an assassination of Kjotve, but like my girlfriend when we're having sex, we're not quite there yet. The battle is pretty intense, but luckily enough for me, we chose to fight right next to a bundle of rose bushes which had berries ripe for the picking, so I was able to heal whenever needed. It takes Kjotve to be half dead to realise that he's about 8 foot tall and can just ragdoll me, but when he does, he charges us into a ditch. Haytham then spots his opportunity to finish Kjotve, but ends up getting folded like fresh laundry. We wear him down more, before finally I finish him off using the hidden blade. Mother and father were avenged, and we also get the Assassin Afterlife part to have a little chat with him. This really does feel like a real Assassin's Creed game, and I cannot wait to play more. I usually say if you guys want to see more, let me know, but I know you will. So more will be coming very soon, do not worry. I'm so excited to see where this game goes narratively. So far it's got me extremely curious, and I cannot wait to see how the whole assassin thing pans out. I love you guys, I love this game so far, and I cannot wait to play more. A big thank you as always to those of you who have clicked the join button and become a member of the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye bye. I would like to just give a huge shout out to my motherload Voiy Boys and above, Gerardo Cruz, Björn van den Hatter, Charlie Waldock, and Voiy Bois. Thank you guys for your support.